Hey there. Let's talk a little bit about SSI and when a spouse's income can prevent you, an SSI applicant, for instance, you're disabled or you're aged, when your spouse's income is going to be counted as deemed to you and therefore affecting whether you can get the SSI, because whether you will have be under the threshold of income, which is, there's income and resources, whether that one, you can pass that one, be low enough. And if so, you're low enough, but you do have some deemed income, how much would it reduce, your SSI receipt to? Because as you know, SSI is a needs-based welfare program. So every dollar in essence, gets counted in some way. And that's notwithstanding the very minimal disregarding of a few dollars here and there by the SSA rules for SSI. And by that, I mean, when it's earned income that you earned from working, the first 65 won't be counted. The first $65 per month of earned income. That means income you worked for. All the other income, gifts, annuities, if you have, that would not be earned income. That would be unearned income. And for that, you only get the first 20 uncounted. And I should also say they treat them differently in terms of what the offset would be, what the subtraction from the SSI due would be. So if you have earned income, you get that first 65 not counted. And then the remainder that you earned that month, for every $2 you earn, $1 will be subtracted from SSI. For unearned income, stuff you didn't sweat to earn, after that first 20 of uncounted unearned income, dollar for dollar, it will be subtracted from your SSI. That's why gifts can be kind of a wash, and there's smarter ways to help an SSI beneficiary. And I have a video on this than gifting him cash. Okay, so a national organization puts out, actually, this is the first time I've seen it from this organization. I used to get it from a different one. But anyway, they put together a brief example of how a spouse's income, if you're a married person, SSI can be really tricky, because if you have a working spouse or a spouse with resources or income not from work but from something else, because we're married and we're both financially responsible for each other, that's part of the laws that we vowed to, some of that can affect you. So I'm going to share this screen, and I'm only going to be talking about a certain example section of it. And this cannot be all inclusive. It gives you an example based on certain presumptions. So many cases would not be those presumptions, but it gives you an idea. And that is because there's no way a chart's going to be able to, certainly not on a page, depict every single financial dollar here, dollar there, per person. I mean, right? I mean, it would be like there's a ton of dollar scenarios, $5, $6, $7. So let me share this. And I'm really stupid when it comes to doing this, and I share screen. I need to find the screen I want. Okay, I think that's it. Is it the right one? Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing? I hope. Okay, so I'm going to assume that you are. I guess I'll find out later. All right. So this is what I'm looking at. And as you can see, this is the chart of monthly deeming break-even points for a federal SSI payment, and it's effective January 2024, just a few days ago. They give you some basic information here. The individual federal benefit rate, FBR, for an adult is $943. That's the same for a child. An FBR couple is $1,415. So as you can see, the federal benefit, I think that's what it stands for, federal benefit rate of 1450 means that two people are not going to get twice as much as 943 because two live cheaper than one. So that's why when it's two people married, it's going to be 1450, not 1886 or whatever, twice as much as 943 would be. If that couple has an ineligible child, this means a child that's not receiving SSI or potentially some other type of welfare benefit, they get to subtract. So whatever they have, 472 a month doesn't get counted because it's going to be for that child. And they recognize that, you know, parents are going to be taking care of their children. So this is the section I'm going to just show you because someone had asked me about the spouse to spouse deeming or what the scoop was. So hopefully I can do that. Oops, let me just do this. I have to go like this. This is the number of children. We're going to, for the moment, just presume a couple with no children. And this chart only talks about, and they explain this down here, and I will link this, if it's earned income, all earned income, whether it's from one parent or two, or if it's all unearned income. If you have a couple with both earned and unearned, these numbers are not going to apply. And that's what I was alluding to before, that because you're going to have your $20 uncounted and you're going to have your $65 uncounted, but then how many earned dollars will there be where only $1 is deducted from SSI versus unearned where 100% is deducted from SSI except for the first 20, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so let's just assume the SSI person that is striving to get on SSI or has to remain there has no earned income and no unearned income. And that the only income coming into the household is from the non-disabled spouse, for instance, or otherwise ineligible spouse. You see that right here? And it's earned income because he or she is working. 0 kids, we scroll all the way over. The reduction to the SSI benefit for the spouse seeking the SSI, the one that's applying for hopefully 943, but maybe it'll be something less, but at least something. When that earned income that household gets, that couple, based on the one ineligible, non-disabled person's income, when that income hits $1,029, that's if they have 0 kids, then the reduction to the SSI person's SSI will start. And they tell you here that if that income that we just were talking about gets as high as $2,915, it's a little under $3,000 a month. Remember, this is always monthly. The eligibility for the spouse trying to get SSI is going to terminate. It ceases. Now, so look at that, right? So once the working spouse makes $1,029, the next dollar up is going to have an effect on the SSI beneficiary's SSI amount. And if that income rises to be $2,915, all of those SSI dollars that would have been coming in are now gone. Okay. By comparison, look if there is only unearned income. Now this would apply if that spouse, instead of earning it through work, is getting it through, say, SSDI. Let's say that spouse is disabled but has Social Security disability insurance benefits, is not on SSI and but has unearned income from SSDI. SSDI is unearned income. You're not working for it in the month you get it. It's an insurance payment, correct? Correct. Notice how unearned income is treated very, very differently and much more harshly. And that's because they always want to encourage people to earn their income, you know, and not penalize people so much for earning income. So here you can see the reduction begins at 400, I have like dyslexia, $492. So if that from the, let's say the SSDI spouse, not the SSI spouse, the SSDI spouse is bringing in 500. Wow, once they got over 492, $8 of that 500 is going to count. And as soon as that, if that SSDI is over $1,435, that SSDI makes the couple have too much money to get SSI at all for the other one. Over here, it was $2,915. Over here, it's $1,435. That's the difference between unearned income, such as if the spouse is on SSD, and earned income if the spouse is instead working it at a job. As you can see, if they have children that are not eligible, they're not disabled getting SSI, these numbers increase. You're allowed to, the reduction begins at a later date because they recognize that these children are going to have money spent on them. So some of that earned income or unearned income, SSDI, for instance, from the parents is going to be going to support them and is not going to the SSI person for his support. So, I mean, that's a good thing. But again, the earned income, much more generous than the unearned income. And I want to show you this. Remember we were saying up here, the couple FBR rate is 14.15. Now you see here, they're saying, well, as soon as you hit 14.35 of unearned income, the SSI will be all wiped out and there'll be nothing for the SSI beneficiary to collect. It's all going to be offset by this other income. The reason why these are $20 difference, $14.15 to $14.35, is that $20 that's not counted for unearned income. Okay, so that's why that number is $20 more. They get $20 more than the total rate possible because 20 of it isn't counted. Okay, so anything else I can explain about this? Probably not. You can just see that the earned income, as soon as it hits, like you have one child, as soon as the earned income hits 1501, that SSI beneficiary is going to start seeing his SSI shrink. And if that earned income with one child hits 3387, that SSI parent is not going to get any more SSI. That 943 will be wiped out. Okay. And then, of course, as you know, unearned, that includes Social Security disability insurance. So if you're a couple and one of you is on SSDI and the other one's on or seeking SSI, your Social Security disability insurance will count as unearned income. And if you have no children, the first 492 of it will not be counted. But depending on how high up your SSD is whether or not your spouse will be financially ineligible for SSI. You know, if you have a nice, beautiful amount of, say, $3,000 in SSDI, because right now, you know, it's like 3,600 or more for top earners. If you have that, your spouse will not be able to get SSI because that is way above the 1435. You know, if you have no kids. And it's way above it, even if you have a kid or two or three. Okay, so I hope that explains that for the person that was asking. I appreciate the question. I hadn't looked at the Deeming chart lately, so I'm going to save this. Because you got to know, you don't really want to be wasting your time. Although, then again, filing doesn't cost you anything, so maybe you do. Because if they have something else up their sleeve, you might be able to take advantage of it. All right, guys, I'm going to stop sharing this. I hope everyone's doing well. We had some snow, which I live on the mountains in the Poconos, but I had to go down south to Allentown, Pennsylvania today, and it turned into rain like they predicted. And I'm hearing like we could get 2 inches of rain. I am fortunate in that I don't get any flooding. One of the few things that don't go wrong with my house. But I have neighbors and people just right down the road that do. There's flooding areas, and there's also people's basements. I think maybe because I'm on a total like mountain, you can't really traverse my property too well. I think the water just goes woo. But anyway, that was a bit of a nightmare traveling in, though. I hate the highway I had to go on. Anybody know Route 33? It's in Pennsylvania, east side, travels north to south. It's not very long. It connects Route 80, Route 78, Route 22. Those are horizontals. Route 33 is a vertical. That's the way I think of it in my mind. And it's just not the safest of roads, I don't think. People drive terribly, and exit ramps aren't great, and off ramps and all that. In ramps, off ramps. So I was kind of white knuckled, you know, driving like the middle-aged lady I am in the right hand lane. Had the kids in the back. All right, gotta go. Talk to you guys later. Bye.